Good morning, natural gas. It's Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of L Trading Company, and welcome to U.S. Tax Day. That's right, your taxes are due today. You've worked 100 hours to pay for your state, local, and federal taxes, so make it worth its while. And right now for May natural gas, we're currently down 4 ticks just to 259.5. That's down 0.15%. And as you can see, the RSI is scalloping lower here. It just seems like it wants to turn to the upside, but lacks a bullish catalyst. And we've been short for too many days. And this is going to result in some sort of short squeeze or move to the upside. But we just need something to generate that trading signal right now. We just don't have it yet. Weather remains fairly mild. And let's turn to the hourly chart. And as you can see, we're currently hovering around the daily pivot, which comes in at 2607. We're currently holding above first support at 255.30, and our upside first resistance is 265.20. The RSI looks like it's trying to turn lower here, so it looks like we're just going to stay between 255.30 and 2607 right now. What else is going on for the LNG? Well, there's nothing docked at Las Rafan, but we do have 2 LNG tankers. There's that gas log Skagen, and the other one going in the opposite direction. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but this is the tanker here. They look like they're running shuttle service between Qatar and Kuwait. What else is going on for LNG? Well, we've got the HLC Eagle here, and this is ready to pick up gas here at Golden Pass in just a few days. Let's move this out of the way. We are currently sitting just outside of the Florida Keys. As you can see, this is Key West, and here's Cuba. It is almost about to get into the U.S. Gulf of America or Mexico, depending on who you talk to. But it is scheduled to land between April the 20th and the 22nd. And speaking of Golden Pass, we're currently over 355,000 MMBTUs going into train 1. Again, this is less than half of its total capacity. So let's see what happens here in the next few weeks if it starts to ramp up here. Once it loads its first cargo, and then hopefully it will start kicking up toward 800 to 850,000 MMBTUs. That will help balance the market a little bit. Let's turn to the strips, and here this is the winter strip. This is Novi through March. And as you can see, that descending triangle didn't happen here, or descending wedge, and we're simply collapsing lower here. Once again, we're breaking down, and we're heading toward that low we had all the way back in January at 384.10. So right now we're currently at 386.70, 387.60. Excuse me, I'm dyslexic today. And our RSI is approaching oversold conditions. What about the next spring? The next injection season? Well, because of talk of super El Nino, which means very low winter demand, this has completely collapsed. It started collapsing here all the way back on March 31st, and we're making new lows here. This dotted line here is the low for the strip before this recent move in the last 3 days. The RSI is in oversold condition, but we need a bullish catalyst, maybe just a little bit of short covering or profit taking here in the next day or two. Let's turn to the weather. And as you can see here, we get 80s and 70s, occasionally a 90 here across the U.S. Gulf Coast. But that cold air pushes out some of this warmth here, starting around the 19th. As you can see, pushes it all the way back offshore before it begins to build once again. And this is just not enough summer weather yet. It is trying to build, but it remains fairly mild overall through the forecast period. Again, as you can see, we're getting 70s and 80s here. We need to get Dallas right here over 90 degrees on the forecast for 2 consecutive days. That's typically the trigger for higher prices. And here is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook for NOAA. As you can see here, it's just above from the valley here of Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, all the way back through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and just parts of Florida and Georgia. Not too much, near normal across the Western and New England areas. Let's turn to Europe, and this is also a little bit mild, but we do have some cooler temperatures trying to come in. And as you can see here, it starts off fairly warm for the next few days. And then we get some colder temperatures coming in on the 19th here, and 20th pushes into Germany especially, and parts of Eastern Europe. That pushes all the way into France by the 23rd. And as you can see, the Isles are also quite cool. That's Ireland and England. And this is pushing out again through the forecast period. We get warmer temperatures coming in from the east, and then we get some late cold coming into Germany all the way down into parts of Poland and what looks like Croatia at this stage. How about European storage? We're currently at 29.6% full. France is injecting. Everybody else is sideways at the moment. How about French nuclear generation? Well, this is looking at last year versus this year. And as you can see, French nuclear output is better for February and March against last year. Let's turn to where it looks like, again, historically, this is doing quite well. That last year bottomed out around May to 25th and then continued to climb for the rest of the year. So we'll keep a careful eye on it, because they need this nuclear generation for power instead of natural gas, which needs to go into storage. How about Asia? Well, it's a fairly mixed picture here. Again, more mild temperatures going through. We do see some colder temperatures pushing through Mongolia here around the 19th. That pushes into the eastern provinces over the next few days after, around the 23rd and 24th. But then that moderate temperature comes back in before we get another cold front that comes in late in the forecast period around the 29th. How about U.S. nuclear outages? Well, we're currently sitting right now at 19.3 gigawatts that are offline. Again, we're starting that seasonal decline here into summer. So we'll start to see these nuclear units start to come back online as we approach our low sometime between July and September, before once again beginning the fall maintenance season. How about fire potential? Well, we've got high fire potential in the Rio Grande Valley here of Texas, parts of the Panhandle for both Texas and Oklahoma, back up into Colorado and Wyoming, and then New Mexico and Arizona, and of course the Southeast, where we've been so dry for so long. We really, really need some more wet weather. How about the oil and gas E&P sector? So these are stocks between $2 and $10 billion, have a high short float over 10%. And as you can see, everything is down at this stage. Even Magnolia right behind me, down 1.29%. So again, recapping here for the spot May contract, which goes off the board in less than 2 weeks. We're currently down just 3 ticks, 259.5 right now, down 4 ticks, or 0.15%. Doesn't look like we're going to get much of a day today. It is tax day, so good luck and file away. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.